All right, we have our medium resolution wireframe opened up inside Photoshop. Of course, now what we want to do is we want to break apart the wireframe inside Photoshop across multiple layers, of course, inside the Layers panel. So I have my Layers panel handy there on the right-hand side. You might want to set yourself up in a similar way. Now, I hope this is okay with you. We've already done this once with the high-resolution layout, right? So we've already seen this stuff. So if it's okay with you, I'd like to move a little bit quicker. I hope that's all right. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go after the header right off the bat here. Now, do you remember how we extracted the header from the wireframe earlier on with the high resolution layout? We had used the marquee tool, the rectangular marquee tool, and that's exactly what I'm going to do here. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this guy. And if you recall, what I wound up doing is I wound up setting the style from the options menu to a fixed size. And previously, see, Photoshop remembers my last settings here, I had used 960 by 130. So what I could do is I could go 750, because that's the width of my layout now, 750 by 130. That's perfectly fine. However, in the spirit of variety, what I'll do here is I'll show you a different option that we can make use of here. You're more than welcome to use the fixed size. That's perfectly fine if you want to do that. Instead, what I'm going to do, I'm still going to use my rectangular marquee tool, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and grab my info panel from the window menu. So choose window and then info. And what I'll do is I'll just kind of tear this guy away so we can keep this guy kind of kicking around. And how this guy works is as I click and drag out, it's going to tell me the size of the current selection, right? But notice it's giving me a decimal place, which is no good. It's because we're in inches right now. So give me a moment here. I'm going to head up to the Photoshop menu, or if you're on the Windows side, head to the Edit menu, and then head down to Preferences, and then look for units and rulers, okay? And what I want to do is I want to make sure that my rulers are set to pixels because we're talking web design here, right? All right, good enough. Go ahead and click on OK. And now I'm getting pixels inside the info panel beside the W and the H, width and height. That's exactly what we want. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start clicking and dragging out a rectangle here with my marquee tool, but I'm going to keep my eyeballs down here in this area inside the info panel to make sure that I do indeed get a rectangle that's 750 pixels in width and 130 pixels in height. Okay, so the 750 is easy because that's the overall width of the document. So it's really just the height of 130 that we're after. And there we go, just like that, 750 by 130. Okay, now you don't have to do it this way. I'm just showing you something that's kind of neat, kind of cool. But anyway, there we go. So this is another way to go about creating your selections, okay? Accurate or precise selections. I'm going to head to the Layer menu now, and then down to New, and then down to Layer via Cut. Okay, and of course, there's our keyboard shortcut from earlier that we saw. Okay, so there's Layer 2, which now contains the header. Okay, so I'm going to rename this guy, you guessed it, header, just like that. There we go. There's our header. Now we just have the rest of the wireframe. But again, as I mentioned earlier on, I'd like to move a little bit faster if that's all right with you.